Let me reveal a truth the dominant have guarded for centuries and never taught openly. Feeling is the rope fastened around your throat. The more you invest emotionally, the more it constricts. The more you allow sentiment to guide you, the more you suffer. Reality is not conquered by those who bond intensely. It is conquered by those who can depart without a backward glance. Attachment is currency. Whoever spends it sparingly dictates the exchange. Whoever registers less emotion commands any space. You believe passion triumphs in conflict. No, distance does. You believe compassion earns allegiance. No, detachment does. If you seek true authority, eliminate the craving to be comprehended. Eradicate the hunger to be admired. Suppress the urge to reply. Because the less you are affected, the more they become obsessed. Dominion does not belong to the vocal, the gentle, or those who bond most fiercely. It belongs to the one who feels least and perceives most. The one who lingers in quiet while others reveal themselves in panic. The one who simply knows. Attachment is fragility because attachment is authority surrendered. Ordinary people are prisoners of their own sentiments, their need for approval, for affirmation, for inclusion. These are shackles they polish and display proudly. But the instant you sever those bonds, genuinely sever them, not as theater, but as absolute refusal to be moved, you rise far above them. You become impervious, ungovernable, indecipherable. Authority begins with enigma, and enigma is forged in emotional separation. When you are less affected than those around you, you generate unease. They scramble to decipher you. They invest heavily in you. They dread your withdrawal. You invert the entire structure of influence. You cease pursuing, you become pursued. You cease speaking, you become heard. You cease reacting, you become obeyed. Here is a truth your era refuses to voice. To reign, never allow your pulse to outpace your calculation. The man who invests more emotionally is forever subject to the one who invests less. Why? Because sentiment is leverage. It can be tugged, twisted, weaponized. The man who requires nothing cannot be lured, cannot be shamed, cannot be broken. So what must you do? Remain near enough to intrigue, distant enough to torment. Offer precisely enough warmth to ignite desire, then withdraw it completely. Render your presence scarce. Render your silence deafening. Allow others to project their fantasies onto the void you leave. Then observe them disintegrate while chasing an illusion you never offered. They will brand you heartless. Accept it. They will label you frozen. Acknowledge it. They will accuse you of lacking humanity. Excellent. The predator feels no remorse for prey. The hurricane issues no apology for the fragile. True authority is never granted through adoration. It is seized through awe, through longing, through perpetual mystery. When you invest too deeply, your adversaries detect it instantly. They know exactly where to strike. They know how to shame you, provoke you, force pursuit, force justification. But when you invest nothing, they unravel. They plead. They expose themselves while you remain concealed. Understand this is not about ethics. This is about supremacy. Detachment is not numbness. It is deliberate indifference. You still perceive, you still calculate, but you do not bind yourself. You do not overcommit. You never deposit your authority in another's vault. When you are indifferent, you become unforeseeable. When you are unforeseeable, you become lethal. And lethality, listener, is the most magnetic force on earth. It compels respect. It compels obedience. It compels dread of your absence. Do not pursue. Do not justify. Do not defend. Remain motionless. Let them approach. Because the one who invests least does not merely endure. He reigns. And if doubt lingers, remember, crowns are not bestowed for tenderness. They are bestowed for command. And command is born in indifference. Emotional detachment is not absence of feeling. It is mastery of it. While the masses are chained to their impulses, the sovereign observes, unmoved, illegible, invulnerable. When you invest too much, you broadcast your intentions. You signal your vulnerabilities. You disclose what truly matters. The instant that data escapes, it becomes ammunition. The manipulator grins not at your strength, but at your transparency. Predictable men are manageable. The arena of life does not reward emotional candor. It rewards the discipline of concealment. You imagine they honor your openness. No, they catalog it. You imagine they prize your confessions. No, they weaponize them. Every outburst, every admission, every moment of need is intelligence, not connection, but a blueprint for your destruction. The one who invests less dictates every exchange. He chooses when to advance, when to retreat, when to obliterate. Nothing can wound a man who remains unreadable. You must learn to respond, never merely react. The masses react to words, to slights, to praise, to silence. Reaction is servitude. The sovereign calculates. He registers the insult yet remains unmoved. He detects the deception yet offers no correction. He perceives the chaos yet stays centered. That centered stillness unnerves. It creates distance, and distance is dominance. It compels others to bridge the gap while you remain anchored. In alliances, commerce, or politics, the law is identical. The less you commit emotionally, the greater your leverage. If they weep and you stay serene, they collapse. If they rage and you meet it with silence, they shatter. If they ignore you and you refuse pursuit, they question their own worth. In every interaction, your capacity to remain undisturbed is your throne. You are not without feeling. You are selective about what you permit inside. Most are desperate to bond, to merge, to justify themselves. The sovereign withholds. He listens far more than he reveals. He allows tension to serve him. Silence is armament. Indifference is citadel. Detachment is doctrine. These are not marks of weakness. These are instruments of emperors. People pursue what evades them. They revere what refuses to plead. They obey what they cannot foresee. When you become emotionally restrained, when you cease dispensing reactions freely, you become enigmatic. And the enigmatic man is lethal because no one knows where to strike. Observe the truly formidable. They are never the loudest. They are the most contained. They speak least. They reveal least. They invest least. And that very scarcity transforms them into gravitational centers. Others orbit, seeking scraps of approval. But the man who masters detachment never orbits. He draws everything into his sphere while remaining untouched. Society will attempt to shame you. They will call you remote, frozen, inhuman. Let them. Their condemnation is confirmation of your ascent, because the fragile require warmth to survive. The sovereign generates his own fire. In a world addicted to attention, the one who withholds it rules it. They will name it apathy, cruelty, detachment. But they miss the truth. Detachment is the seat of all lasting power. The man who masters restraint is not empty. He is precise, strategic, immune to sentimental manipulation. Let them feel, let them bleed. You observe how effortlessly hearts overrule minds and deliver control to whoever refuses to play. Want to know who truly commands any space? Not the loudest, not the one craving approval or comfort. It is the one who remains steady while others panic, who refuses pursuit when others withdraw, who stays motionless while others plead. That man is inviolable. That man dictates. To dictate, first silence the need for acceptance. When you invest too much, you surrender your peace to others. The moment they realize they can provoke reaction, they possess you. You become their marionette. But the man who refuses to dance, who departs rather than debate, rewrites every rule. He becomes the tempest no one can forecast. Most fail not from lack of ability but from craving affection. They yearn to be admired, comprehended, pardoned. These are indulgences, not requirements. Authority is not won through gentleness. It is won through enigma, through silence, through never revealing what truly moves you. To invest less is not to reject humanity. It is to command your own. Imagine two combatants. One battles for acclaim, the other for survival. Who is deadlier? The one performing for applause falls first. The one with nothing to prove endures. Your existence must resemble that arena. Conduct yourself as though applause is irrelevant, as though triumph is only valid when claimed in solitude. Detachment is not absence of emotion. It is presence of discipline. Emotional mastery is not frailty. It is arsenal. You may feel deeply but never display it to adversaries. Partner may abandon. Ally may betray. Rival may scheme. You register it, nod, and advance. The frozen silence you deploy will terrify more than any outburst. There is something spectral about a man who refuses reaction. In a world addicted to spectacle and validation, he becomes the unsolved riddle, the phantom presence. Others provoke to confirm their significance. Deny them that confirmation. When they insult, offer calm. When they threaten, meet it with stillness. When they plead, give nothing. This is how the sovereign communicates through absence of response. To be feared is elementary. To be loved is pleasant. To be respected without ever raising your voice, that is mastery. And it is the mastery of detachment. Those who dread your departure cling harder. Those who know you cannot be swayed align instantly. The man who can abandon anything, wealth, affection, status, becomes the man everyone pursues because his power resides not in possessions but in mindset. Cease caring who approves. Begin caring who dreads your absence. Cease pursuing apologies or closure. Begin perfecting your composure under assault, your silence amid treachery. That is authority. That is dominion. And in this world, whoever commands most prevails. Whoever invests least reigns. Now the ultimate arena. Intimate bonds, romantic, familial, social. Here most formidable men are disarmed. Not by armies, but by whispered promises and illusions of permanence. You imagine love is sacred. Reconsider. Love is conflict disguised in fragrance. And the one who invests less always triumphs. They will teach you to surrender your core, to expose fragility, to communicate endlessly. These are not virtues. These are snares. In every bond, someone holds the reins. It is never the one who reveals first. The one who waits, who studies, who discloses only when essential, he sets the tempo. Become that man. Maintain emotional distance even at closest proximity. You cannot be controlled if you require nothing. That is the supreme law. Need breeds servitude. Whether for affection, attention, or reassurance, the instant you require it, the war is lost. This is how they bind you, with tender phrases, fleeting warmth, vows of eternity. Believe them and you are owned. But the man who invests least, who recognizes love as potential weapon, retains command. He departs when necessary. And when he departs, they shatter. Your strength is your capacity to refuse, not merely foes, but those you value. They will demand concessions, fragments of your essence for their comfort. Refuse calmly, elegantly, but refuse. You were not created to serve another's ease. You were created to govern your own domain. If that brands you frozen, accept it. Ice endures longer than flame. Become the serpent, silent, calculating, illegible. Never overjustify. Never explain absence, silence, or ambition. The more comprehensible you become, the more controllable. Remain enigmatic even to those nearest. And when betrayal arrives, as it will, display nothing. They anticipate fury, pleading, collapse. Deny them everything. Depart in silence. That silence will torment far beyond any rage. True power is not vengeance. Vengeance is reaction. Indifference is verdict. When others are driven by hearts, you are guided by intellect. That keeps you forever ahead. Sentiment renders people rash, desperate, foreseeable. You will not pursue resolution. You will not seek affirmation. You will not prove your worth. You will simply exist, undisturbed, unbound, inviolable. This is not malice. It is preservation. Cease idealizing connection. Connection is instrument. Wield it. Never worship it. Be capable of affection, yes, but only from unbreakable position. Offer warmth, never your essence. Be generous, never accessible. Listen intently, reveal nothing. The moment they believe they possess your core, they will reshape it for their gain. Become fortress. Impregnable exterior, hollow interior, detached. Your value is not in pleasing others. It is in refusing their control. When they realize you cannot be molded, they will either fear or revere you. Both serve. Let this be your doctrine. Never allow love to weaken you. Never permit bonds to blunt your edge. Never let tears divert your course. You are not counselor. You are not redeemer. You are tactician. In the great contest of power, those who remain emotionally neutral conquer those drowning in feeling. The man who invests least is never lost because he is never bound. And what cannot be possessed cannot be destroyed. Here is the final truth. Authority is not bestowed. It is seized. And it is seized not by the loudest, not by those pleading comprehension, but by the one who can remain silent while others scream. The one who can depart without hesitation. the one who can starve his own sentiments while the world offers poison disguised as love. They will call you proud, remote, frozen. Let them. The fragile require external heat. The sovereign burns from within. They do not seek solace. They generate tension. They refuse closure, reassurance, approval. They author their own story, and in it they always command. Do you now see why the one who invests least always prevails? Because he refuses to let external chaos dictate internal order. Storms may howl outside, yet within he remains serene, precise, untouched. That is why they fear him. He cannot be displaced. Study those who truly command respect. They are not pursuing connection. They are too rare to be reached, too disciplined for emotional theater. They are not reflections. They are barriers. You do not gaze into them. You collide and rebound. Here is the cruel paradox. When you invest less, others invest more. They are drawn to your silence. They pursue your notice. They obsess over your indifference. Why? Because most are addicted to feeling essential. When you deny them that drug, they spiral. They offer more. They exhaust themselves in your orbit while you remain centered, dominant, liberated. Liberation is the highest power. To achieve it, become emotionally sovereign. No one should trigger, bait, or steer you. Your detachment is armor. Your capacity to depart is blade. Your silence is diadem. Cease justifying. Cease seeking comprehension. Cease defending your ambition, your distance, your discipline. Most will never grasp you because they are not meant to. Let them speculate. Let them doubt. Let them misjudge. You were not born to be adored. You were born to be feared and followed. Authority is not only over others. It is over yourself. Can you postpone pleasure? Can you refuse when all expect surrender? Can you choose dominion over comfort, order over chaos, destiny over opinion? If you can, you do not merely win. You reign. Detachment is not void. It is clarity. It is recognition that nothing endures, neither their affection nor their contempt. You do not ride their waves. You construct your empire on immovable ground. Let others react. You decide. Let others pursue. You select. Let others plead. You depart. Be the one who invests least, not from resentment but from vision. Because you have witnessed what excessive attachment does. It weakens, it blinds, it enslaves. And you were never meant to be anyone's prisoner, not even your own heart's. So ascend, sever, observe, command. This is the strategic path, merciless, calculated, absolute. If these words shattered your illusions and ignited something sharp and icy within, subscribe if you are ready to cease being manipulated, dominated, danced like a marionette by those who barely grasp their own desires. Engage this message. Share it with someone who still believes deep feeling is strength, because authority does not plead. Authority does not pursue. Authority observes. Authority chooses. And authority always, always invests less.